Hello, and welcome to the Drop of Light podcast with your host, Mike, episode 6. In a world full of darkness, sometimes all we need is a drop of light. Place where I want to explore different topics and things and just talk about them, shine a little light on them. And today I wanted to talk about the idea of caving under pressure or breaking under pressure. The idea came to me when I was playing this game with some friends. It's called Bocce Ball. It's Italian lawn bowling like game. I'll explain it. Basically, you throw a ball that's like on a field of grass. That's like the small ball. And two teams throw, could be getting strong. I think it's like two balls. Teams of two balls each. This could be a format. And so the people with the you're throwing a ball to get closer to the little ball that you threw, and who has the balls that are closer to the little ball wins in a sense. And you take turns. And what I noticed of when, say, the other team, their balls were closer to the target, there'd be pressure to you have to kind of beat them or you lose. And when throwing the ball, that added pressure, I tended to throw more poorly and it didn't work out as well. But times where, say, my teammate already threw the ball and ours was closest and I was just throwing another one just for extra points where the game wasn't on the line. It was just a matter of winning by 1 or 2. I tended to even perform better, which is funny enough. So I noticed this thing, when we think something's on the line, oh, I'm going to lose this game, or I can really fail this test, or I can really mess it up. It almost attracts our ability to mess it up, versus if we can approach something with the thought of almost it's no big deal, or it's okay if I do or I don't, it's just giving my best effort, we tend to do better. I could do it with running. If you're oh, I'm trying to hit this pace and I'm really worried about not hitting it, or might perform worse than if we're I'm just going to give it our all and my pace is going to be my pace. And oh, look, just so happens I did better than I thought. So I wanted to play around with that idea. And with that idea, I wanted to make it a little more experiential today, rather than just listening to me rattle on. Maybe we can do something together. So this is something for you, future Mike, listening to this, or anyone that comes across this. Of course, everyone is welcome. Now, I want you to imagine tomorrow. Just imagine tomorrow, that whatever time it is today. But we're thinking about tomorrow. Maybe it was very early in the day. Maybe you can think about today, but I record this in the evening. It's the light dark thing. So I'm imagining tomorrow. And imagine that tomorrow, if things don't improve, things will never improve. If you don't wake up at the time you want to wake up at, day's kind of not going to get better from there. If one thing doesn't go right, the rest of the day isn't going to go right. The tomorrow's all in the line. Tomorrow doesn't go well, the day after can't go well. And if tomorrow doesn't go well, you might not get that thing you want, be it the job or salary or relationship or thing you've been saving up or opportunity, whatever it is. It's all hinges on tomorrow. Just sit in it. Tomorrow is all you're going to have. Tomorrow's the last day you'll have. Put all that pressure on that day. What's it going to be getting through that day? For someone might be super excited. They're pumped. They want that opportunity. But for many, I feel it'll be shit, I'm going to mess it up. I just know myself. If it's all on tomorrow, I'm not ready. So feel it, imagine it, allow yourself to go there. And we'll start again. So now I want you to imagine tomorrow you can't fail. You're already gonna win. And tomorrow is already going to set you up for success, even if everything goes wrong. You can't mess tomorrow up. It just won't happen. Even if you try, it'll end up being like one of those, like you trip yourself into success. Like you thought you slept in, but the clock was wrong. You thought you were late. Everyone else got delayed and you're the first one there. How does that feel? For some people, it might be like, I like the pressure more. And for some, it might be that, taking that pressure off, taking that load off would be so nice. And I'd encourage you to listen to your preference. And your preference might change day to day. Usually it's a little more far apart. Preferences might change kind of season to season. So, season can be weeks to months. Sometimes can be very short. Sometimes can be long. And see where you want to go. Do I need less pressure tomorrow or do I need more pressure tomorrow? What kind of day did I have today or yesterday? Did I put everything on the line or do I put nothing on the line? And how do I feel about it all? Yeah, just sitting with that. Might be a short one today. My brain's like, can make it to that 15-minute mark. No pressure. Wouldn't it be nice if we could live a life where we've already won? And guess what? Right now could be that moment. There's no objective requirement to feel like things are good, things are in order, things are at peace, life is good. It doesn't mean there's no room for improvement. It doesn't mean things can't get better. But it's good to start with things are good. Because the next question, and maybe this is a future episode, well, why is that? I was listening to this podcast and now the word is missing. I didn't finish it yet either. And I forget the names of the people. Funny how the brain works. Long story short, they were talking about an idea of like kind pessimism as like a good stance to have, of like, the idea of like we're all gonna die and we lose everything we love and it's still important to be kind and good, rather than the toxic positivity piece, right? To balance it out, that we're doing all this because like in order to face life ending, in order to face things not going right, because those will happen. But at the same time, so does all other things. Every day essentially is full of life. The day you face death is a day you don't face, while you're facing it, you're still going to be alive. And so in the moment, like right now, you have all the things you have and they're staying for as long as they're staying. So this is really important. And my brain can be in this mode of like, how do we make sense of this all? How does this all come together? What's like a neat and tidy thing, like a book or guide or, what comes to mind? I don't know if people went through schooling systems like this, but I had to do quite a bit of brochures through the schooling I did. And maybe it's common and familiar. And it's like, how do you put this into a nice brochure? Making sense of life. How to add drops of light. How to add the happier, healthier, healing life in a brochure that's everlasting. And I know this has been tried in, the religious texts of the world, of like, how do we keep this uplifting going and this magic going? And it's cool, and I have so much admiration for the attempts. Sometimes I feel like a simplification can be so needed. And then sometimes the opposite, sometimes the layering is so needed. It's like the balance. And I want to balance it out with simplification, because I've experienced a lot of, and I still do, the complexity pieces and puzzling it all out. And sometimes you just want to relax and enjoy. That makes sense. I hope that's a worthwhile experiment. To be like, what's the day I want to have the life worth living? Pressure free? So pressure, low pressure. Where do you like the pressure? I like pressure when it comes to games because I can stay in the idea that it's a game, you know, board game. It's nice to get lost in it, or like the bocce ball, right? It's fun. And then when it comes to more like serious stuff, it's like it doesn't have to be so serious for me. It's okay if it is for someone else. Everyone has their own words and escape this evening. Personalities, but another composition. Yeah, that word that when I listen back to this, I just know how my brain works. I'll listen to this and be like, this is the word, but I'm here recording it and it's not here. I'll give it a few seconds. If it's important, it'll come around. Temperament. There we go. Future self, shout it back to me. Okay, and with this, I bid you adieu. Have a wonderful rest of your day or week or wherever you are. And remember, you are so, so cared for and loved, and you're doing great. Okay, take care.